A villager acquitted in a stalking case is fighting for permission to return to his neighborhood swimming pool. That would be Ed McGinty. Or it is. Ed McGinty of the village of Hadley was acquitted in April in Sumter County Court after the prosecutor's office failed to prove his case. McGinty was arrested September 24th after reportedly showing up at the home of a woman with whom he was known to have a long-running political feud. I'm not going to read the rest of it. Seems to me if he was acquitted in court, then he shouldn't be banned from anywhere. That's legally, the way I see it. He's been acquitted. So how can you punish a man that's been acquitted? Am I wrong? Leave a comment below. A villager was arrested on a drunk driving charge after crashing into a Cadillac while taking his wife out to dinner. Terry Wolbasor, 75, who provided a local address of 555 Gibson Loop and was driving on a Virginia's driver's license, had been at the wheel of a red 2016 Chrysler Town and Country minivan with Virginia license plates when he struck a red 2012 Cadillac shortly before 2 p.m. Monday at Watercrest Independent Living and Assisted Living on County Road 466 in the Villages. He drove away from the crash without reporting it. Wolbersall had been at the facility visiting his wife, but he'd been yelling and screaming at her, the report said. Staff at the facility suspected Wolbersall was intoxicated and asked him to leave. He announced they would be going to the Bob Evans restaurant next door. Wolbersall had his son walk his wife to the restaurant while Wolbersall decided to drive over, which is when the crash occurred. A deputy attempted to talk to Wolbersall at the restaurant, however, he was very agitated and angry. He was asked about the crash in the Watercrest parking lot and admitted he struck the Cadillac. However, he dismissed it as the damage was only a ding. Don't you just love that? I'm not going to read the rest of it. But he was arrested and taken to the Sumter County Detention Center where his bond was set at $3,000. Yeah, I hit the car, but it was only a little dent. What's the big deal? A man is heading to prison for having sex with an underage girl at a villa in the Villages. Russell James Stiles, 28, on Tuesday in Sumter County Court was sentenced to 15 months in the state prison. He had been arrested in 2018 after alleged sexual activity with a teen he met on the dating website Plenty of Fish. That's a dating website? Jeez, I'm sorry. Maybe I'm too old. That's the stupidest name I ever had. Of employment and took her to his home at 2269 Whisper Street, occasions with the juvenile female, according to a arrest report. 16-year-old. He was arrested on 2 counts of sexual assault. He was also charged with utilizing a two-way communications device in order to facilitate a felony. Never heard that charge before. Stiles was given credit for 42 days already served in jail. Who cares? Put him away. Why is he living in the Villages? Stiles was 28 years old, living in the Villages. Rental property. Guarantee it. Most villas are rental properties. Rental people here don't care. They just don't care. As long as they're getting that rent every month. They don't care. If you're going to buy a piece of property and rent it out, care. The Department of Homeland Security has slapped a hold on 3 Chileans nabbed on Interstate 75 in Sumter County. The trio have been traveling in a black 2013 Nissan Murano with a temporary Texas tag on Tuesday night on I-75 when they are pulled over after a check revealed the temporary tag had been assigned to a 2021 Toyota Tundra pickup, according to a arrest report of a Florida Highway Patrol. During the traffic stop, the trio claimed they were heading to Disney World in Orlando and said they had procured the rental vehicle in Los Angeles. They presented Puerto Rican driver's licenses that turned out to be fake. You reckon this is some more illegal immigrants that wandered their way up here through Mexico? They eventually admitted they are from Chile, pronounced Chile, I think, and had been in the United States. Roberto Omar Fernandez, an 18-year-old Fabian Ignacio Cio or Martinez. He had been driving the vehicle and was arrested on a charge of driving without a license. All 3 were booked in Sumter County Detention Center. The village of Hawkins was found to be in possession of marijuana when he was spotted in a wee hour. Initially, that Bledsoe was free on bond after a pair of arrests earlier this year. Thanks, Mom and Dad, for bringing your troubled kid to a retirement community. Nice of you. Bledsoe had been arrested in March when he was found in a car at a Brownwood restaurant. A search of the vehicle turned up 9.32 pounds of marijuana, a black digital scale, a bag containing psilocybin mushrooms, am I saying that right? Oxycodone, hydrocodone, and other pills. He's a drug pusher here. Thanks, Mom and Dad, for bringing your drug-pushing son to a retirement community. While he was free on bond in that arrest, Bledsoe was arrested in connection with an earlier event in which he was caught on surveillance at the Wildwood smoke shop, allegedly stealing 2 marijuana grinders and a multi-collared torch lighter. As a result of his arrest at Publix, Bledsoe was booked at the Sumter County Detention Center on $6,500 bond. Please, Mom and Dad, let him set. You don't need to go get this kid anymore. A convicted sex offender was jailed after his failure to register a new address after moving out of his mother's home across from the village of Marsh Bend. Sumter County Sheriff's deputies working in partnership with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement found that 41-year-old David Mitchell Walters had registered his address at his mother's home at 4507 Northeast 32nd Road in Wildwood when he had been released from the Sumter County Detention Center on February 19th after spending nearly 2 months behind bars because he set up an illicit Facebook account. A deputy interviewed Walters' mother and stepfather on Wednesday, and they revealed that Walters had not stayed at their home in nearly a month. They said they believed he was staying somewhere in Marion County. Walters was convicted in 2008 in Marion County on a charge of lewd and lascivious battery on a victim under the age of 16. He was also arrested last year in Lake County for another sex offender registration violation. The project-wide advisory committee on Monday will receive an update on the potential replacement of the windmill and water tower at Brownwood Paddock Square. The 2 ornamental structures were removed last month as they were deemed public safety hazards. The initial estimate for the removal and the replacement of the windmill and water tower was $225,000. However, PWAC members have asked that district property management research studier options than would. That means the replacement cost could be substantially higher. PWAC member Jerry Vicente, chairman of the Community Development District 7 Board of Supervisors, said last month he fears the price could climb as high as $500,000. Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you? And before you get into the argument of, well, why do we need to replace it, blah, 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 I already did a video on that. It explains exactly what they have to do. It's contractual. They have to do it. Just go watch that video. If I can, I'll put a link to that video at the end of this video, or maybe I'll put a link down below in the description box so you can go watch it. A villager with a long history of arrests landed back behind bars after skipping a court date. Mark Muldoon, 58, was booked Wednesday at the Sumter County Detention Center after he was picked up on a warrant charging him with failure to appear in court to answer to a charge of battery. At the time of the arrest, he was found to be in possession of drug paraphernalia. I tell you, I am shocked to see if it goes on. In 2021, Muldoon was arrested after headbutting a man in a dispute over a cell phone. In 2020, Muldoon was arrested after paying an unwanted visit to Spanish Springs Town Square. Muldoon has been banned from the square in 2015. That year, he was sentenced to 30 days in jail after a woman complained to the police officer that he had been grabbing at women's arms and asking them to dance while at the square. Muldoon already had a long list of arrests, most of them stemming from intoxication. Give it up, Muldoon. You can't handle your booze. Oh, mother. This is the boyfriend for your daughter, and he's got such a resume. A pregnant woman was transported from Margarita Republic in the Villages. That's up at Spanish Springs. They have more trouble in that bar, I think, than any other bar in the Villages. A pregnant woman was transported from Margarita Republic in the Villages to a local hospital after an alleged attack that led to a Summerfield man's arrest. Hunter Anthony Gough, G-O-U-G-H, 25, was arrested Thursday on a charge of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. The pregnant woman on May 21 contacted law enforcement from the restaurant at Spanish Springs Town Square and said she had been dropped off there following an alleged altercation and threats. which occurred in Marion County. The woman was transported to a local hospital where she was interviewed by a deputy. She said she had been walking when a total of 4 people in 3 vehicles rolled up to her, according to an arrest report. Meanwhile, an unknown man in a truck suspected something was amiss and offered to give the pregnant woman a ride. A woman came over, punched the pregnant woman in the abdomen, and tried to pull her from the truck. Gu pointed a gun at the pregnant woman and threatened to kill her. The pregnant woman got away with the man in the truck. Gu allegedly fired 2 shots at the truck. The pregnant woman was dropped off at Margarita Republic. She was taken to Lake County EMS to a local hospital for evaluation. Gu, who has a lengthy criminal record, could tell that by looking at him, was booked at the Marion County Jail and released after posting a $2,000 bond. See, that's what kills me. And released. Shots fired. A pregnant woman was assaulted. An unborn child's life was in jeopardy here. And it's a $2,000 bond. That means he puts up 10%. So for a couple $100, he's back out of jail. And look at this nut. You think he's going to stop being an idiot? Lady Lake commissioners on Monday night will reconsider the village's plan for apartments at Spanish Springs Town Square. Commissioners will meet at 6 p.m. at Lady Lake Town Hall. The commission on May 2nd voted 3-2 to reject the village's plan for apartments at the former home of Katie Bell's at the Van Patten House. An overflow crowd of residents attended the meeting, making an impassioned plea to stand up to the villages. I don't know who they're talking about when I keep saying the villages. The villages is the name of our town. It's the Villages, Florida. That's not somebody's name. Commissioner Ed Freeman joined Commissioner Paul Hannon and Mayor Jim Reitz in voting against the plan for the apartments. However, within days of that meeting, Commissioner Freeman contacted the town's attorney and admitted he had misgivings about his vote. I voted no at the last commission meeting because of the event. Something smell a little fishy to you? He said potentially cost up to $500,000 because of an argument with the Morris family. They have every right to build apartments, said Freeman, a resident of Water Oak. Well, he doesn't even live here, so he doesn't care. He's from Water Oaks. I wonder who got the who. That's all I'm saying. Who got the who? And I still say, that's a public road, and you really don't have, I don't think you should be giving away public street taxpayers are paying for to somebody to enhance their personal business and profits. A big crowd turned out Saturday for a grand opening of the new McDonald's at Magnolia Plaza in the Villages. All right, another McDonald's. Let's bring out the band. So it's hilarious to me around here how when a new restaurant opens, everybody flocks to the new thing going on. It was a proud moment for Mark and Rebecca Babalian, owners of a new McDonald's restaurant, which has been warmly welcomed by villagers south of State Road 44. Well, they have to. They don't have much else down there. But let me just tell you, when they opened up the new McDonald's right over here by my house, wasn't very long after that, it was cited for infestations of bugs, I think. And it wasn't very many months after that, it got cited again for like mouse droppings and things. And then here about a year ago, I think, this McDonald's over here was shut down by the health department. So just because it says McDonald's doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to go the way you think it's going to go. We've been a part of the community for many years and love the relationship we've built with our customers, said the owner, operator, Rebecca Babel. I'm just wondering if Rebecca Babelian here is the owner of the McDonald's over here. Because if she is, they've got health issues over there, and they had them for a long while before they were taken care of. The health board had to shut the place down. A villager will lose her driver's license for a year after an intoxicated trip to her dog's veterinarian office. You remember this story from about a year ago, right? Laura Elaine Galinas, 55, who lives in the Austin Villas in the village of Chitty Chatty, pleaded no contest to a charge of driving under the influence Tuesday in a Sumter County court. In addition to losing her license, she has been placed on probation for 1 year. She's the one who went over to the veterinary office over there, the so-called animal hospital, which is not an animal hospital, I'm just telling you. And she had a wine glass in her one hand, I guess full of wine. She was drunk, taking her dog in there, and she got into an altercation with the people that worked there. They called the police, and this is the end of it right here. A villager has been ordered into anger management classes after an attack on his live-in lady friend. Gary Lee Summer, 67, who lives at 380 Arbella Loop in the village of Amelia, was arrested March 29th after he began arguing with his lady friend who was taking a bath, according to the arrest report at Sumter County's office. He grabbed the woman by her arms, and when she threatened to call 911, he knocked the phone out of her hands. The struggle continued, and she fell onto a bed. Okay. She fled the residence and went to the village's public safety department station on Morse Boulevard near the Sarasota Executive Golf Course. Summers was arrested and released after posting a $2,000 bond. Paul William of the village of Duval got his fourth hole-in-one April 22 at Sand Hill Executive Golf Course. I used to like Sand Hill a lot. He previously had a hole-in-one at Sarasota Golf Executive Course, Tournament Executive Course, and after 116 days, he returned to his home after the owner was also released from care. Ban suffered burns to the face, around the eyes and muzzle, the right side of his body, to all four of his paws and lower body. Band's treatment included clipping and combing out the melted plastic in his fur, clipping and cleaning the right lateral thigh and flank with a chlorhexidine scrub and sterile saline, and applying silver sulfadiazine. I have a hard enough time reading without all these words. Sulfadiazine to the burn wounds and bandaging all 4 feet. Poor guy. Sumter County Animal Services provided the care that Bain needed while his owner was unable to care for him. Animal Services said it took 5 weeks for treatment before Bain was healthy enough to go outside and play. Bain did awesome, and his healing is complete. Animal control technician, Sumter County Animal Services. Once Bain was medically able to go out and play, he loved running in our play yard with his toys and treats. He is a very sweet and outgoing boy. Good job. Thanks to the Sumter County Animal Services. A new retailer is coming to the former Van Heusen location at Lake Sumter Landing. Paradise Grills will be setting up a showroom at the floor space formerly occupied by the Clothier at 1018 Lake Sumter Landing next to Starbucks. Paradise Grills bills itself as America's largest outdoor kitchen manufacturer. The company has showrooms located across Florida. More than selling grills, the company specializes in commercial-grade tiki huts, kitchen island bars, and pergolas. Of course, Paradise Grills offers a wide variety of grills fueled by gas, electric, wood, and charcoal. A 78-year-old villager has been sentenced on charges of he possessed child pornography. Where's all these sick bastards coming from? Sumter County Sheriff's deputies on November 20th, 2020 served a search warrant and arrested John Thomas Nolan at his home at 1364 Bokeelia Place in the Bokeelia Villas. He was taken into custody on multiple charges of distribution of child pornography and possession of child pornography. The Queens, New York native was living alone in the villa he purchased in 2012 for $142,000. He still owns the county court. Nolan pleaded no contest to 3 counts of possession of child pornography. I have no problem with that. They wouldn't want me to be a judge. I'd probably cost taxpayers around here a lot of money because I'd be putting a lot of people in jail. Well, here's this lady again. Some of these people, I really think, and I'm not making fun, I really think they got psychological problems. As they get older, I think they get worse. A villager charged with threatening law enforcement officers with a crowbar has vowed to represent herself in court. Caroline Kolniski, 65, of the village of Belvedere, continues to be held at the Marion County Jail since her arrest in August, when she led multiple law enforcement agencies on a high-speed chase. When Kolniski finally came to a stop, she reached down on the passenger side floorboard, picked up a yellow crowbar, and threatened the officers with it. In a recent letter to the judge in her case, Kolniski announced she has fired her public defender and plans to represent herself. She is due back in court at 1:30 p.m. July 5th. I know all my charges should be dropped and case dismissed, she wrote the judge. Last year while she was behind bars, Florida Community Development District 5 compliance villager at the wheel of a Mercedes was jailed after Drive Ridge Villas in the village of Briar Meadow was at the wheel of the black 2000 eastbound in the westbound lane of traffic, according to the arrest report from Sumter County. Several vehicles driving westbound on State Road 44 had to move out of the lane to avoid hitting her. During a trip, be able to recite it correctly. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. A happy empty bottle of Pinot Grigio. I'm sorry, I'm not a wine drinker. Grigio. I am, but not that. Pinot Grigio wine was found in her vehicle. She provided 3 breath samples that registered .210 and .177 and .186 blood alcohol content. Criminal history check revealed she had been convicted of drunk driving in 2013 in Sarasota. Chandler was arrested on a charge of driving under the influence. She was booked at the Sumter County Detention Center and released after posting a $1,000 bond. A Village of St. Catherine woman was arrested after an alleged altercation in a vehicle near the Morse Gate at County Road 466 and Morse Boulevard. Wildwood police were called Saturday night to a home of 73-year-old Lucy Rieda Sanchez to investigate a domestic battery complaint. Sumter County EMS also responded to the home where a man had suffered a swollen left eye, black and blue scratches, and a swollen lip that was actively bleeding. Oh, I bet you're going to feel like a man the next time you're drinking beer with your buddies and you have to tell them that a woman beat you up. Sanchez, who stands 4 feet 11 inches tall and weighs 115 pounds, is accused of attacking the man while they were traveling in a vehicle that was southbound on Morris Boulevard. A native of Puerto Rico was arrested on a charge of battery. She was booked at the Sumter County Detention Center and released after posting a $100 bond. I mean, she only puts up $10. What happened? A 42-year-old man was arrested after a disturbance at a home in the Villages. Sumter County Sheriff's deputies responded at 8:23 p.m. Monday to a home in the village of Dunedin and arrested Thomas Robert Uguaria, on a felony charge of battery on a person over the age of 65. The victim had marks on his face as a result of the altercation, according to the arrest report. Ungerhauer was taken into custody and booked at the Sumter County Detention Center. Bond for the native New Yorker was set at $7,000. Ain't you proud that you tried to beat up an old man? A drunk driving suspect was arrested in the parking lot at the Villages High School. A motorist called 911 at about 4:30 p.m. Sunday and reported a reckless driver on Belvedere Boulevard near the Pimlico Recreation Center, according to the arrest report. The small blue 1994 Isuzu pickup hit a curb and went onto the grass and landscaping. The truck went through the residential gate and the witness lost sight of the vehicle. However, she found a DeWalt piece of equipment which had fallen from the truck and she turned it over to the deputies. The pickup was spotted by the deputy when the driver turned into the high school parking lot at a high rate of speed. The pickup made a large circle in the open parking lot. The vehicle was going so fast that it lost control, making skid marks from the reckless turn and hit the curb median, almost striking a tree. The driver was identified as 35-year-old Kevin Nathaniel Fremer. 2 Twisted Tea alcoholic beverages were found in the cab of the truck. One can was empty and the other can was still cold to the touch. A receipt for Publix indicated the 2 beverages had been purchased at 4:05 p.m. that day. Marijuana was also found in the truck. Fremer performed poorly in field sobriety exercises. His breath sample was .186 and .180. Criminal history check revealed that he had been convicted in 2018 of a drug crime in Pasco County. I don't know what that means, drug crime. He was arrested on charges of driving under the influence and possession of marijuana. He was booked at Sumter County on a $2,550 bond. A villager is headed to prison on multiple child pornography charges. Joseph Leo Becker, 70, was sentenced Monday in Sumter County Court to 9 years in state prison. He was immediately confined to the Sumter County Detention Center. Becker was arrested in 2018 on 24 counts of possessing obscene material at his home at 4299 Deskin Lane in the village of Osceola Hills. According to the Sumter County Office report, an undercover internet investigation was conducted in the Central Florida area on computers that were offering to distribute child pornography. One of the computers identified was located at Becker's address, so the sheriff's office obtained a search warrant to investigate. Becker told deputies he used a file sharing program called Shiriaza on his Toshiba laptop and that he told his wife not to go onto that account. He said he used the file sharing program to look up music, but he said these porn things would just keep popping up. Deputies copied 24 files from Becker's laptop that appeared to be child pornography, which gave them probable cause to arrest Becker. A pickup truck crashed into a wall in the Villages, waking up a couple who thought it was thunder. The pickup crashed into the wall about 3:30 a.m. Tuesday at the Heritage Villas in the village of Bonnybrook. Larry and Linda Johnson were fast asleep when the truck struck the wall behind their home at 2015 Avery Place. They initially thought that they were being awakened by a thunderstorm. When they began to investigate, they found the wall had crumbled when the truck crashed into it. Dust and debris from the wall found its way into the birdcage on the back of the villa. The home was not damaged, though some palm trees had some bark scraped off by the truck hitting it. The driver of the truck apparently lost control of the vehicle in the roundabout on Buena Vista Boulevard behind Johnson's home. The truck left tire tracks across the grass before it crashed to the wall. The driver fled the scene on foot. Larry Johnson said the Village Public Safety Department, Sumter County Sheriff's Office, and Community Watch all responded on the scene. They really got here quick. They did a good job. He and his wife purchased the villa in 2004 and are its original owners. They moved to the Villages from Michigan. Well, if the guy fled the scene, drunk, drugs, an illegal with no driver's license, or just somebody with a suspended license. That seems to be the case all the time. I think we're done with the news, so with that being said, I'm going to go have some lunch. See you all on the other side.